With the exception of cat videos and celebrity rants, the internet is mostly made up of crazy people doing crazy things and getting caught on camera. For your lucky old eyes, we've compiled a huge collection of the best people doing crazy things with overloaded transportation. Here are 10 vehicles that were dangerously overloaded and captured on camera. Number 1. First up, we have a truck that appears to be having some serious problems as it tries to climb a hilly incline on this Indian road. The videographer was able to record the truck in this state of disarray on a mountain road. The truck is struck from multiple angles, and during its challenging journey, you can't help but wonder who would be filming it and why. If they were supposed to be inside the truck, their extra weight in the cab might help with the balancing, but it's also possible that the truck has a heavy backside that would make even an additional person impossible to balance. The incident occurred on a road in the Indian mountains. These roads provide the only access points to the challenging terrain found in the mountain regions of the Indian subcontinent's eastern and western regions. The truck's extremely heavy rear end is clearly overloaded with what appears to be timber or another mega-weight substance, and the vehicle must make a number of awkward and convoluted maneuvers to climb the hillside. It experiences several setbacks. Overall, it could have been quicker and easier to load the truck less heavily in the first place and take the load up in 2 less cumbersome journeys, but what do I know about such things as common sense? The wheels are continually lifting off the ground as it tries to progress. Number 2. Next on our strange tour through heavily loaded transportation, we find ourselves in China, where we witness an absolutely astounding sight. This is a motorcycle, which appears to be quite small despite the massive load making it difficult to learn anything about it. What's even more amazing is that, in addition to the driver of the vehicle, there is a passenger who seems to be balancing on the trailer-like object that the load is resting on. There are no load limits in these kinds of locations around the world, or do they just not care? What do you think? Feel free to express your opinions in detail in the comments section below. The load itself appears to be made up of enormous piles of extremely lightweight material, possibly styrofoam packaging material or something similar. Regardless, the junk is divided into 6 enormous net sacks and balanced on a trailer of some kind. Number 3. Here's a familiar but old sight that depicts an extremely packed train in Bangladesh. I have learned that while this does occur, as the video shows, it only occurs on 1 or 2 days per year for the Muslim holiday. Other than that, the trains are just like they are everywhere else. To be honest, if we knew the truth behind these pictures, how would we be able to maintain our belief in other absurdities? Nevertheless, here is an example of one of those incredibly crowded trains in Bangladesh as it takes its actual journey for just a short distance. Number 4. This time, we're back in India and we're watching some ridiculousness involving a tractor that appears to have overestimated its weight-bearing capacity. It's so overloaded with cattle feed sacks that it's literally toppling over, and I can't even begin to understand the logic of this decision. However, the driver seems unfazed by the extra weight on the back of the vehicle and is actually driving right along. In the vicinity, however, pedestrians are seen staring in utter amazement as the superloaded tractor performs a wheelie and drags its impossible heavy load along the street. Yes, the weight of the load is actually causing the heavy-duty vehicle's entire front end to lift up completely from the surface, but the driver just powers through and probably managed to get the load wherever it was headed. Number 5. Next, we're looking at a passenger ship in Bangladesh that appears to be having similar issues to the train that we've already seen. Could this be a similar situation where the boat is simply overbooked due to a religious holiday, or is the company that operates this specific service simply handling ticketing extremely poorly? This is the MV Sundarban 10, a passenger ship that travels between Dhaka and Beryl. It was introduced a few years ago to great acclaim for the opulent travel experience it could provide. The video tour of the boat does, in fact, give the impression that it is fairly nice inside, but why is everyone crammed onto every square inch of space? This does not seem to represent luxury travel at all. People are literally peeping from every platform, through every porthole, and across the entire surface of the passenger ship, leaving it all just looking like one big mess of people. Is this just a huge bachelor party headed for a wild night, or is there a real issue with the ticket machine? Feel free to share your thoughts about it below, but between you and I'm pretty sure this wouldn't pass any kind of risk assessment. Number 6. Logs weigh a lot. This is precisely what's happening in this seemingly never-ending video, where a group of guys are trying to maneuver a heavily loaded logging truck up an incline in some soft dirt. It's really frustrating to watch, and I feel like my blood pressure may be rising as they continue to make such slow and feeble progress. I know it's a tough thing to understand, but they are, and if you put lots of really heavy things on a massively heavy truck, even a super powerful one, and then try to drive it over some soft and loose earth, well, you might just find yourself in a spot of bother. The driver simply keeps revving the engine, which is not good for the transmission, but they do this again and again and again and again and again and forevermore. Number 7. Due to the numerous additional factors that need to be taken into account, transporting big items can be challenging and requires a high level of ability. The clip illustrates the variety of events that can occur in even the shortest amount of time. Fortunately, no one was injured when this disgusting episode was caught on camera because the person who did so was the closest bystander. However, it appears that he was standing behind the trailer rather than next to it. Although the exact location of the incident is unknown, it involved a semi-truck carrying a large steel beam to a construction site. The incident happened quite quickly as the truck tried to turn a corner, and then the trailer started to veer left. It then briefly swerved right before hitting a concrete guardrail. In the end, the top-heavy steel beam started to topple over, which caused the truck to jerk in response. The events were concerning, especially because there was a chance for a more serious outcome. That's all for now. Which of these clips did you think were the craziest? Let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you again soon.